Okay, so you guys are on a world that your master has called Ark, but actually has a name, um, and that name is Corferon. Is the name of the world. It's in wild space. You've been here nearly 10 years, actually 10 years today. So you spent a lot of your adolescent years, if not your childhood, here, training under your master, who is called Dol Arn. He's a Kel Dor. Um, However, you decided to come here, whether that was like you were sent here by the Jedi Order a long time ago to learn, or you discovered you were force sensitive and just found your way here, that's behind you. But for the last 10 years, you've been on this planet. It's kind of it's very ideal. It's foresty, sort of very verdant, lush sort of planet, which makes living here pretty easy. And your life is one of routine. Um, it's incredibly, uh, yeah, scheduled. So you have the same situation every single day. You wake up about an hour before dawn. You meditate for an hour, then you go and have breakfast, and then you do some training, and it's the same thing every day, all day, every day, um, which is the Jedi life that you're living. Um, and as you wake up today and do your meditation at breakfast, um, Master Arn would say, "Today marks 10 years, my students. I thought perhaps we might celebrate in some way. Thought I might give you opportunity to range beyond the perimeter, perhaps even go to the town."
Town? Dante says with interest as he has not been near the city streets in some time.
Aye, it's a small place. Um, you've probably been there once or twice, maybe. Maylan's town. Um, it's like a little farmstead more than a town, a couple of houses in close proximity. He says, "Yes, well, if you so wish, you could go there. You could go um, for a hunt. You could wander through the woods, whatever you prefer. I think you have earned a day to enjoy yourselves."
Well, if it's been earned, I would be honored to take a day. I would like to go to the town or even hunting.
Indeed, hunting keeps your skills sharp. And all of life is a lesson, let us not forget. Even today, on your day off, he says with a grin, you'll still be studying, still be learning.
Uh, Pan will look a little nervous, like a little shaky, because he's been using his seclusion in the monastery as a crutch, like a mental crutch. He tells himself, the moment I'm turned out of here, I'm going to be a big deal. I'm going to make my way, become a famous, powerful Jedi. But now the
Nice.
moment's here, and he's like, what if I fail? And you would see his like eyes droop a bit, and like maybe a little bit of condensation form on his forehead, and he would seem really conflicted.
I think the master would sense that, and he would say, "I'm not necessarily saying you cannot come back. Simply a day to enjoy yourselves. Your training is not yet complete."
Of course, Master.
Come on, loosen up. We can go to town and get a drink. What do you say? Give him a slap on the shoulder.
Yeah, he'll crack his neck a couple ways and be like, "Of course, yes, you're right. Let's enjoy ourselves. It's been a long time since I've been around other people. I'm probably socially awkward at this point.
Oh, no, man, you're great. You got this.
You don't." And he'll like lean over and say, "You don't think I might like make it with like a lady or something?"
Uh, Dante will, of course, suppress his laugh. He says as he leans in and gives a grin and a wink. Hey, you never know. This could be your day, my friend.
He'll get a shit-eating grin on his face.
The master says, "Well, let's go through our exercises, and then once we have done that, you'll be free to go. I won't expect you back until after the weekend.
Well, that sounds agreeable, and without much, or with much haste, Che would stand up and make his way for the various training to go on.
Yeah, let's roll Destiny before we go any further. Excellent. Excellent.
I see how it's going to be.
I seem to have a serious power to bring the dark side to me every game we play so far. All right, yeah. So he would, once you finished your breakfast, which would be like vegetarian, obviously berries, fruits, things of that nature. He would bring you down into the kind of courtyard where you do most of your training, and he would sit, sort of karate style, kneel almost, and then he would just lift a hand and point, and you're supposed to do your forms that you've been learning. So you can choose either athletics or agility, or if you have melee or brawn, any of those to kind of show the kind of forms you've been learning, sort of a kata sort of style.
For the Niman Disciple, it's kind of based off of willpower.
Yep, that's fine.
So, okay. So, yeah, Dante is very much dedicated to his training. However, he has big plans. He always has. And the talk of going to town kind of creeps in, and that impatience of, the time that is taken and the time that lies before him, and his eagerness for their day off will kind of show itself in his training.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and what's the difficulty going to be on the roll?
It's going to be 1, but I'm going to use all my dark side to make you guys suffer.
Okay.
So each use a red instead.
All right, as Che performs his sort of kata to demonstrate his physical prowess, he's going to be consulting his athletics ability here.
Oh,
Athletics for me as well.
So,
And if I may, maybe my failure just shows how much better the other two do, so maybe they get a little help out there because I'm showing the wrong way.
yeah, I think maybe like your enthusiasm is such. I think maybe for the day that's in it, you're a little bit distracted, and so the pointers that Master Arn gives you can help the rest. So you guys can throw a boost die into yours. So you go first, and you're doing your forms. They're a little bit sloppy because of you're like, oh, we get to go hunt something and go to town. It's gonna be really exciting, and you're not quite focused. And he's just very sternly, focus, empty your mind. And yeah, the other two pull it off without a hitch, and he's impressed. And he puts a hand on your shoulder, Che, and he says, "Yes, I know it's an exciting day, but you must control your feelings." And yeah, you guys would train for about an hour. He would show you various forms. That's what today's training is. Today is the physical day. Other days you would simply sit here and meditate, or you would try and sense the future, move things, all sorts of force powers. But nonetheless, once you've done your training, he'll smile and he'll say, well, as I say, the weekend, if you wish, don't tarry too long.
I will try to put my failings today out of mind, but I'll be fresh for them, and hopefully I'm even able to learn something on this foray into town.
Indeed.
Pawn will blink his two large bulbous black eyes quickly and look over at those two, very excited. Like, we going? How do we do this? Do we go in by foot? Their vehicles?
Yeah, there would be speeders if you guys wanted to use them. The town's probably 4 or 5 hours walk. So you could use a speeder, or you could walk through the woods on the way there if you wanted to try and do a bit of hunting or something like that. It's really up to you guys how you want to go about it.
So one of you two used a speeder before? I've never actually gotten behind the wheel of one, but I've ridden in a few.
Lick my upper lip. No one's ever showed me how to drive it, but I think I'd be good at it.
We're learning things already.
Sounds like a plan. What's the worst that could happen?
You played too many of my games, Dennis. Yeah,
It's
so you
just a
guys
simple trip to town.
exactly what could go wrong? Yeah, so town is where you want to go, right? You guys can jump on the speeders. And yeah, I'll just need a piloting planetary, just a difficulty one.
Okay. So is this like a individual like swoop bikes, or is it like an actual
Yeah,
land speeder?
no, it's like swoop bikes.
Swoop bikes.
Oh, we all got one. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
You get to be a motorbike gang. Nice.
Uh,
A single
what is
purple.
this?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I think both of you guys get your started pretty well. I think Pawn, for a little second, you're like, what? And then you figure it out, and then you just like shoot off, and then a second later, so do you, Che. Unfortunately, Dante, you're sitting there, and you're like pressing the button, and nothing is happening. You're just like stuck.
Yeah, he kind of gets off and scratches his chin and walks around it as he realizes he doesn't even know how to turn the thing on.
Yeah, so I mean, I imagine the speed of the swoop bikes is such that you're probably like a couple hundred feet away before you realize that he's not with you.
Yeah, if Pond sees it in like his like side view mirror or something, he'll turn his head and look at Che and say, "Oh man, I think he's having trouble getting it started. We go back?"
And Che would give a quick nod and try to engage us a braking maneuver to
Okay.
slow their incredible speed.
Pond's gonna see like a very lazy hill, like something an old woman could probably walk up. But like the pond, this thing is like a half pike. He like will lick his lips, and I'll come in on that and just try to cut it into the hill and like come back down and change direction.
Nice. Okay. So you want to do like a sweet move?
And like for like Pond is like making a mountain out
Yeah.
of it, but it's probably just like a. But yeah. It would be a move to him.
Okay. Yeah. I think we'll just call it one. But I'll give you a setback because you think it's a big deal.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm going to use a challenge point so I don't die. So use that dusty point right there, and he's like he like leans really forward over the bar and
All right. So I think you go to like do this like ridiculous sort of handbrake turn to try and like fling yourself around this hill. But I think instead you'll just turn all the way around and then like be going backwards up the hill for a little bit. Somewhat confused as to what exactly is going on. It doesn't look very cool.
The advantage might be he's got a good view of me just slowly doing like a 3-point turn. Just
Yep. Yeah. That's a
You're
totally
awesome,
different
Jedi.
ballpark to Edge of Empire games, right? You guys are just like trying to fly a speeder. Sweet.
there had to be 3. It's awesome.
Very inspiring start.
Okay, so you guys are able to eventually make it back to Dante. I can imagine both of you just like leaning back now, kind of looking a bit confident in your speeders, just like, hey, what's going on, man?
Guys, you did great. But I could use a little help here. This is like a different model that I'm used to, and kind of reach up and rub the back of his head as he's pointing to his other hand. How do you get this thing going?
I think that one is a pull start, and he motions to a little lever that you can give a yank on.
So give it another try.
Yep, you can have a boost.
Get a boost. Woohoo! Now let's hope it doesn't blow up. Hey!
Oh yeah. So yeah, you guys are kind of like, I can imagine, on his left and right, facing the other way, kind of facing him. Then he's like, "Oh, this thing," and then he's just gone incredibly quickly. He like flies over that little tiny hill you're talking about, and gets some sick air as well as he does so. You guys can follow.
Come on, guys!
This is pod racing.
I was like, whoa.
And Che will begin the arduous process of turning his swoop bike around carefully and then rocket off behind his friend, Dante.
Yeah, then after that, Pano followed Che.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, so you guys can start kind of flinging your way through the deep woods here. The planet is or the part of the planet you're on anyway, is kind of very secluded. The planet itself is very far away. It's in wild space, so it's not a world that's on any map. And it's lightly populated. You guys are kind of flinging yourself now through these woods. I guess having quite a bit of fun, just like swooping between trees and stuff like that. Do any of you
unfortunately, with the start that he had and how awesome he did, Dante probably has this false sense of confidence of his ability to fly this thing.
Yeah, most likely. Are you guys trying anything cool, or are you just going to take it careful as you go through the trees?
Well, maybe not so much an eye to being careful, but as he's going along, Che would maybe keep an eye to the tree line, just any signs of game for possible something to hunt, or
Actually,
just have an eye out like
that. Perception or force sense if you have it.
All right, we'll do some perception. 2 purples, or
yeah, it'll be 2.
Okay. So that's a fail on scanning the tree line, but looking for game, but some advantage is garnered.
Okay. I think you're going extremely fast, so it's difficult to see anything really as you're kind of the landscape is like a smudge painting as you're just speeding past these trees and stuff. But I think the advantage is that you feel like something is looking at you. That's a common feeling you would have on this planet, like it's full of wildlife and stuff like that. So,
right, I'm sure that would be urging Che to hammer the accelerator all the harder. This feeling of being observed.
Yeah, you'd still be within the what your master calls the perimeter. There's probably like a 5-mile area around the temple that you guys have kind of explored and you know well. You're still within that area, so there's nothing particularly terrifying in this area generally. Yeah, and you continue just flying through these trees and stuff on the way to Mehron's town. Does anyone have force sense?
Is that a talent that's available to some?
It's a force power that you can take.
Force power, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't take that.
Okay, does anyone have it?
I have force enhance only.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I guess that feeling of being watched would kind of tickle the back of your brain a little bit, but you wouldn't really think much of it as you continue your way to Mehron's town. It takes you, I guess, just under an hour on the speeders, which would have been a much longer walk because the speeders are so quick, before you kind of leave the woods and enter in sort of a plains type biome, and you can see down in the valley a couple of houses, maybe 10 or so little buildings arrayed before you with farmlands and stuff around them. And yeah, you would see the town down below, and you can zoom all the way in.
Definitely.
Yeah, as I say, it's pretty small. It's like a more of a community than a town itself, but it's definitely the biggest settlement that you've seen here. It's run by a man called Mayron. He's the elder of the town. That's why it's called Mayron's Town. And you would have met these guys a few times maybe in your lives. You would come here every couple of months maybe with the master to pick up food and supplies and stuff if you were that way inclined, or anything you need that you wouldn't have or be able to make yourself. And yeah, let's see. There is a very small sort of, it wouldn't even be called a cantina. It's more like a guest house where you could go and have a drink. And yeah, if that's what you're looking to do.
And as we start to approach the interior of this cluster of buildings, Che would ask, should we get right on top of this thirst I've been building since training?
Han would nod his head like fiercely. He'd say, "I've heard that people who have much sorrow go to taverns to drown their woes. Maybe we can help them. Like Master Arn always says, Jedi show good judgment." And you can see him like getting like really into this. Like, oh man, I'm gonna give someone advice.
Yes.
That's the spirit, my friend. Dante
Yes.
kind of rubs his hands together.
Yes, I'll accompany you. I'll be on your flank as we go to aid anybody who might be in need.
He'll say, I wish we would have worn our robes or something though. Oh, to see those look on their face when we walk in there, like, oh man, these guys are gonna be Jedi. Like you can see Pon just like he's getting really fired up.
I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, would we be allowed to have our own belongings and equipment? Like I took some small weapons. I took vibro knucklers and like the small holdout blaster. Would I be able to be carrying that?
I think you would have probably, yeah, over the years and you've been living here, picked up stuff like that. I think when you're in the temple, you're supposed to not use them, obviously. You're supposed to wear your robes.
Right.
But I think, he's sending you out and he would expect you to take care of yourself.
He's not really much for confrontation, but he would be as prepared as he could. So as he, once we arrive and we park, when he gets off, he kind of makes a show in front of the others of, checking the inside of his jacket and, pulling out the blaster to look it over and put it back, the small blaster out and then put it back.
Yeah, you can enter into this little smoky cantina. There's maybe 10 or so people in here. An Ithorian barman. And he'll see you come in and he'll say, "Oh, the apprentices, welcome. We're honored." A lot of people similarly will kind of look and they'll raise a glass or something like that.
Yeah, at that, Dante's back will get a little straighter, his shoulders a little more squared as his chin tilts up a little bit with a grin, with the recognition.
You say, "What can I assume water. What can I get you?"
Water, haha, that's a good one.
But that's what Master Arn always drinks when he comes.
Right, and he'll kind of look to the other two.
Might you have something a little stronger than water, good sir?
If an Ithorian had eyebrows, he'd raise it, but he won't ask any questions. He'll say, "Oh yes, plenty. I could get you some sort of beer if you like. We can make excellent beer here."
Yes, today's a bit of a celebration, so we're just gonna, nothing too strong, of course. Need to keep clear minds.
Excellent. So he goes behind the bar and he pours you these three kind of frothy beers, puts them up on the table. That'll be on me for all the services your master has done. I couldn't possibly repay.
Well, such kindness. It would be a faux pas not to drink these. And he'd pick up one of the three drinks and hold it high as if to clink it. The others are raised.
He says, "If you'll wait a moment, I'll pour myself a drink. I'd like to drink with you." And he goes and he gets this weird looking container that he has to like hold up to the side of his neck to drink. And he says, "To the apprentices." And most of the people in the bar are like, "Hey."
Clink all the glasses and then take a drink.
Yeah, it tastes awful. I guess you guys drink water almost every day, and the first time you drink a beer, it doesn't taste good.
I'm gonna actually. Two is kind of like the standard difficulty for general rolls, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he in the moment, lifts a glass to take a big old chug, but as soon as the first moment that the beer hits his tongue and that awful taste, he almost spits it back out. But he kind of turns and lifts his hand like as to wipe at his mouth to kind of cover as the bad taste moves over his features, and he sets it down on the counter. Ah, very good.
Pan will take a big swig, and when he pulls it down, his like face will be all sucked in, and he'll have those creases that are Palpatine-esque. And he'll turn to Che and say, "This tastes like sour Minoc milk."
And Jay will say, "Minoc milk." And he'll look down at the drink and have more of it. I don't see it.
Looking around the bar, you can see that most people here are just like having a nice day. Like some of them are having food and stuff, dinner or lunch, I should say. But there is two men at the back of the bar who seem drunk. They're both like leaning over the table, at each other, like you fucking and they're playing sabacc.
Once the toast is done and the place kind of settles and attention's diverted elsewhere, Dante will motion towards the bartender and say, "Can I go ahead and get a water, please?"
Of course. And he pulls out this thing. He pours you some water, and it's crystal clear, delicious.
Thank you.
Pan would do a once over again of the bar, looking for any females, young females.
Yeah, it's mostly a human settlement. You would find, I don't know, 1d4 appropriately young and good-looking females.
I find 3.
Excellent.
So like as like Pan turns around, he'll see like just the silhouette of like hips and bust, and he'll raise his hand up and start biting on his pointer finger. And he'll say, "Oh my God, it's happening."
And I can't fight this feeling anymore. Yeah, you can see there's interest from the girls as well, looking at you guys. Like obviously beyond being like apprentices, you're also incredibly fit, and I think naive as well, which is probably appealing.
So once he catches Pan's mumble and looks, he'll get a wide grin on his lips as he notices the ladies himself, and he'll put down the water and grab the beer and motion with his head for the other two to follow as he'll approach the females. Not quite with a swagger, but pretty confident in the way he's moving.
And Che will he'll puff out his chest as he brings his tankard of beer up to bear and follow in suit.
Yeah, Pan will do a double take and set it down like some suds will like froth over the top of the unfinished beer, and he'll pop his collar and like unsheath his vibro rapier ever so slightly, and like stick his chest out a bit.
Yeah, so you walk over, and they're just kind of chatting to each other, and they see you approach, and one of them smiles. She says, "Oh, hi, have a seat."
And Che will he'll stand to the side to allow his two mates to get into seating position first. And as they possibly go to sit down, what Che is doing is he's making a point of taking off his large blaster rifle off his back, and he's setting it down beside the table like it's a big, impressive tool that needs constant attention. And he'll just sit down at the edge of the table, smiling.
Pan would be just like slightly too eager. Like he'll jump over a chair and like turn it around Riker style, and like lean on the back of it, and he'll be like, uh, "You think? I mean, kind to."
Dante will give a chuckle as he lays one hand on his nervous friend's shoulder, and he'll kind of lean towards the one that first spoke and offer his hand to her. Hello, I'm Dante, and you are?
Callie, and she looks to Pon. She says, "You don't get out much, do you?"
He'll get a little bit of a frown on his face and maybe blush a bit and say, "It's that obvious, huh?"
Well, truth be told, it's more the beauty of you ladies that he finds a little intimidating, and you just have to pardon my friend here. He means well.
Yeah, don't blush. Like, oh, it's very, very kind. Uh, I mean, no, not really, though. Playing coy.
So
Yeah,
what?
see,
Oh, go ahead.
nope, take the lead.
So once everyone's settled, he'll say, "So what are you ladies up to today?"
We have a day off. We just thought we'd come here and eat some food and hang out.
He grins, looking to his two companions and back to them. Well, what do you know? Today's our day off too.
Isn't that convenient? We could go hang out maybe. What is there fun to do around here? I guess we could go and have a look at the. And she lists off all this bunch of boring farmyard stuff. Um, I mean, you guys are Jedi. You spend most of your time sitting in a temple, so it sounds fucking awesome to you.
Yeah, basically the first thing that they suggest that would put us alone with them, away from everybody else, is what
Yeah.
Dante will be like. Oh yeah, that sounds perfect.
She says, "Yeah, we could go shoot some flang rats."
What do you say, guys?
Well, that sounds like a bunch of fun. And he like nudges his rifle that's leaning against the table.
Yeah, Pan will be like, "Oh yeah, it sounds like a great time."
Yeah, okay, well, let's do it. Let's get some food here, and we can take it with us. Have a picnic. And one of them stands up and goes to the Ithorian barman and orders a bunch of food and whatnot.
So as they're, we be getting this conversation and meeting these girls, Dante will kind of pick out the one that he finds the most attractive and kind of start talking her up and working his supernatural charm on her.
Yeah, they're keen. You guys are pretty much celebrities around here. And she goes through the food or whatever, and then she'll lead you, or they will lead you through the town, kind of pointing out like, oh, and that's where this guy lives, and that's where the mayor lives, and most of the town, most of our houses are way outside of town, on the farmlands or whatever. But it's pretty boring around here. Nothing really happens.
Pan will
Well,
show his ignorance a bit, and he'll be like, who's the master of this monastery?"
She'll kind of laugh and like punch you in the arm. She's, "This isn't a monastery. This is a town. There's no master."
Well, no, oh, of course. I mean, who leads you in your morning exercises?
she's chuckling, and it's like friendly. And she says, "No, no, no, we don't do that here. Everyone just does their own thing. We don't. Hmm. We don't do most things together. We have our own homes where we live as families."
Pan will get kind of like a stoic look on his face, and he'll remember back to when Arn gave us our first lecture on the dark side of the Force. And Pan will think, such a loose daily schedules probably leads to a little bit too much time on one's hands.
Absolutely. So you're walking through this town, and they say they're going to bring you to the eastern edge of town. There's like a sort of ravine there, and there's all these flung rats, which are like little pests, vermin, whatever, and they need to be getting rid of. And so they'll sometimes come here when they're bored and just take pop shots at the flung rats.
Oh, Pan doesn't know how to use a gun, so he'll kind of defer, I guess, to the other two. Perhaps Dante, since he has an actual gun on him.
And you can actually use mine, Pawn. You want to take the first shot? And Che will hand him his heavy blaster rifle. That's the only thing I bought. I didn't even get heavy clothes. I have simple clothes on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he'll look at it and say, "Oh, you're too kind, Che." Okay. So, is there any particular way you do this, or?
And Che will point right at the trigger and say, "Auto fire."
So yeah, I'll pick it up and I'll be holding it wrong. Like I won't have my eye on the right spot of the scope either. And I'll kind of look down it loosely and I'll say, "Now, does somebody say go?"
Wait, hold on there. Now, just quick out of character, can I attempt a leadership to kind of, give him some confidence and some instruction on how to do this?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So yeah, as he begins holding it up, now truth be told, Dante's far from an expert with firearms, but he, basically knows where to point the business end of it and how to pull the trigger. But he can see his friend is obviously kind of nervous here, and he knows that he wants to make a good impression in front of these girls, so he'll move up to him and, rest a hand on his shoulder as he is like, "Okay, you got this." You basically just sight in there, and as you exhale, pull the trigger on your target. You got this, man. And let me go ahead and see what happens. Oof. Well, so I won't use the dark side force, but I got 2 successes and an advantage.
Yeah, I think you can have a boost in your shot. You give them some basic pointers, like make sure that you point in this direction and that you breathe and that you look down the scope and stuff. And I think it's enough to probably give you a basic understanding.
Yeah, it may not ensure like a marksman-like shot, but hopefully he won't do anything to or embarrass himself.
Yeah. Callie will say that what we usually do is we sit here, and then once we see one, we all shoot as quick as we can, and whoever gets the shot gets a point.
Bang! And I'll shoot without anybody having a gun or anything, just as I'm like aiming after he's given me the instruction. I'm going to double aim and take 2 strain.
Excellent.
I'm going to shoot at one Is there one medium range away?
Sure. Yeah. You're like at the edge of this little ravine, and they run around down there. Oh,
yes.
baby.
Yeah, so I'll study my breath, like using all the tricks that I was just shown, and I'll feel like the force-like calm come over me, and I'll like reach out and I'll feel the bird, like I'll feel the bird's heart beating, and then I'll just pull, and you see, like feathers just blow up as I snipe this bird.
It's just gone, and one of the girls just looks at you and is like, "Wow, nice shot. I guess we should expect that from Jedi, but wow."
He'll scratch the back of his head and like lower the gun and be like, "Beginner's luck, I guess."
Dante's eyes would widen a bit as he steps back and at the display of skill that's apparently well beyond his own.
Yeah, so
Oh,
there was this one little thing shot, and then you can see a bunch of them like skitter out from all over, just like running around this little ravine. And yeah, so you can each take a shot if you want.
I would. I'd look to Pawn and say, "So the gun, she was fun to fire," and
The way I'm holding it too, it's like one of those things where you're probably like dodging because I'm like carelessly swinging the nozzle of the gun around while I'm turning to talk to you. Oh, I'm sorry, Che. Here. Of course, take your shot.
yeah, Che will just take a knee and start bringing in some of these little critters to bear. And he'll ready up a dice pool here. All right, 2 success.
Yeah, no problem. You also just like taking a knee, you take a sight, and you just and one of them is dealt with. One of the girls is going to take a shot.
Oh yeah, if they don't have their own guns, Che would have let them use his.
No, they do.
Cool.
They for defense or whatever. So I guess um, that's a hard one. I mean, a triumph is a success, right?
It is if there's a success sign with it, but if it's just the triumph sign, it means that success was canceled by something else. But
Okay,
the triumph effect remains.
okay, I got you. Right, so she misses, um, but she hits into like one of these tunnels where the rats are, and then all of a sudden, just like tons of them come running out all over the place, um, giving you guys way more targets and making it easier for you to hit.
Yeah, I'll pop off another shot, and I'll aim for this one, I guess, too. So I'll get a booster.
Sweet.
Cool. And yeah, he's shooting from the yeah, just you drop into a knee for a little aim, and he just fires over their heads as to hopefully send them running away.
Yeah, it's kind of teeming down there with all these rats. Um, and then you see coming from like the other side of this ravine, there's like it's only maybe 10 foot across. There's like woodlands or whatever, and you can see stalking around in there some sort of cat kind of predator, maybe the size of a big dog. And it's kind of some reptilian features, and they're just kind of prowling around and looking down into the ravine, all this food, and it looks up in your direction, kind of just like bares teeth. And the girls say, "Oh crap, we gotta get out of here."
Yeah, I think we should leave him to his lunch. We can have ours somewhere else. I'll help him gather up the girls and heading out.
Pan will look over at Che like, you better not, as you fucking have the gun in your hand.
What was that last part? You better not, and then what?
Yeah, it's like you have the gun in your hand, you're like looking up at the cat and then back at the gun. I'm like, you better not.
Oh yeah, and yeah, looking to the beast off in the distance, and then to the picnic being gathered up. Che would he'd sort of realize, oh, and he'll sling the rifle back over his shoulder and get ready to hop on
Okay,
the scoot bikes or return to the day bar.
nice. Yeah, you grab up your stuff and you start walking back to town. And through the long grass, not particularly long. You can still see the ground or whatever. You see a shape moving, and then in front of you are two more of these cats between you and the town. And then off to your left, you can hear like a, and the girls are pretty afraid. Say, "Oh no, this is bad. These cats are no good. We should just run."
Get thee behind me, girls, and I'll bring the rifle out to bear. And so, could I? Were you? Did you say I could take 2 strain for 2 boost to aim?
Yeah, you can do your first aim with your maneuver for free, and then you can do aim again for 2 strain.
Yeah, I'll do that. So I'll use 2 boosts in total for this one. And I'll take some strain.
All right.
If yeah, and here goes. Awesome. Failed.
Yeah, so you try and sight down at this cat, but it like jumps out of the way at the last second. It splats into the ground where its hand was. And I think the advantage would be that the one coming towards you on the left skitters away. But the two who are standing together in front of you don't. They kind of stand there and they bare their teeth, and then dice spill out of their pockets in their own initiative.
Perfect.
God, I hate when they do that.
So cool.
Yeah, cool for you guys for sure. Actually, so it's you guys and then them. Actually, no, one of you after.
I was when I failed there, I was trying to activate auto fire. So yeah, I'll just be for the start, just blasting away as you guys act.
Please. Okay. So who wants to go first?
If it's cool with you guys, I want to full out because we're like standing on this like vehicle that we came in on, like the speeder or whatever.
Mhm.
I want to like forward flip using my force enhancement out in front of the beast and like draw my rapier.
Yes. Excellent.
Okay. So when I do athletics, I can roll a force dice with it. What's the difficulty of this, Lloyd?
To flip, I think that's pretty easy for you guys, especially you with enhance. So I think I'll just make it 1.
All right. What if I want to flip like 3 times?
Then I think it'll have to go up to 2, if not
Okay.
3. I think
Why
I
do you,
think one difficulty per flip.
all right. We'll do. Hmm. Let's do 4 flips.
Yes.
I'm gonna use a dust meatball.
So this is gonna either be really impressive or
Look
yeah.
at that! Holy
Awesome.
shit!
Yeah, so my hand will go down to the rapier and I'll get a smirk on my face and I'll crouch down and then just 4 rotations in the air flip as I land kneeling and like draw the rapier and point it at him in a dueling position.
Nice. Fuck yeah. So you're not going to use the force point, I guess, right?
Nope, I don't need it,
Okay.
and I don't want
Yeah.
to. I don't want to dabble with the dark side.
Yeah. Just as a side note, I think that's so good, right? Like you can use the dark side points. It's always offering easy power. It's just great. It's a really good way of doing it. Yeah. So you do all these crazy flips and you land in front of these things like with the rapier drawn, and you hear like a wow from one of the girls. Excellent. Okay. Who goes next?
How far away are these things?
They're probably. I mean, if he was able to flip 2 of them, he did do 4 flips though. I guess I'd say like 30-ish feet.
So would that be in short or would that extend to medium range?
Short, probably. I would say.
So Dante will reach in and pull out his little holdout blaster and with it set to stun, he'll take a shot at one of these cats.
All right.
This ought to be interesting. Yeah, could have been worse.
Yeah, unfortunately, I guess you're probably nervous seeing actual combat. You don't do a lot of this. Most of your fighting would be sparring or forms against each other. It's rare enough that you would actually fight something, and maybe your nervousness just causes you to just slightly miss. Okay, one of these cats is going to leap forward towards you then, Pon, since you're right in front of it.
Excellent. I have 1 defense, and
Okay.
let me make sure here. I think I might have a. Nope, I don't. Just 1 defense.
Excellent. All right. So it's gonna leap, pounce towards you, and try and lock its jaws around your leg, which manages to do. So that'll be 6 points of damage.
Okay, my soak is 5, so 1 point of
Oh wow,
damage.
nice. Yeah. So it manages to like bite into you just a little bit. You feel the teeth kind of sinking into your shin. Um, but I think it's gonna. What's that threat about? Maybe it'll let itself open for further attack. Maybe it bites in a way that the other guys can see it, rather than being right in front of you. It's at the side, and they can get a good view of it. Okay, and who goes next?
I could, as it's being swung around into view, I could pop another shot off.
Yep.
All right, and I'll double down. I will aim yet again, and the double aim, and 2 purple.
Yep.
Nice. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I can activate with that 2 advantage the auto fire, I think, if that's how it works, to hit 2 things.
I'm not sure how auto fire works.
Yep.
I can just
You can, but your attack must be made against the better of the defenses. So, like, if the two mobs have different stats, you have to attack the highest. But if they're the same, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're the same.
All right. So it does it's the heavy blaster rifle, so it does 10 damage.
Ooh. Ouch. Okay.
Should I add another purple actually because it's long range gun and we're at short? I don't know if it works that way.
Now, did you add the extra difficulty to shoot it in auto fire, Justin?
No. Oh, does
Yeah.
it cost an extra purple?
It does.
Sorry.
You have to shoot it in auto fire
All
mode.
right. Here it comes. 2 fails. So I still have 1 success though then, don't
Yeah.
I?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
the 2 advantage remain. Awesome. Cool.
Okay, so just so I'm getting this right, you fire, and if you get enough advantages, you can fire again. That's what auto fire does.
Well, it lets you hit another target.
Oh, hit. Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
it can be the same target or another target. It's for every 2 advantage, you trigger an additional shot from the auto fire, but each shot does the damage of the success from the actual result. So,
So
if
you-
like your first shot does 7, each auto fire shot will do 7.
Wow.
So you can decide, Lloyd, if I double tap the guy or if I drag it across and hit somebody else, because it's a big weapon blasting off here.
Crazy. Yeah. I think you probably just like sight down the barrel and you just go, and you fill this one that's biting the leg of Pawn just full of holes, and it just thunks to the ground.
And the rifle would lower from the sights of Che, and you'd be kind of amazed at killing such a big beast, or at least filling it with holes, and he thinks it's dead. And he's glad his friend still stands, but he's just in pause there.
Nice. So back to the top.
All right. How close is the remaining cat?
It's like right next to you. You could slap it if you wanted to.
All right. 1 maneuver to engage, and then using my vibro rapier, I'm gonna go in for a thrust. Does the cat have any defense?
It has 1 melee defense.
Ooh, tough mother. Okay. And do you want to increase the difficulty?
No, I'm okay.
All right, here we go. All right, so what's the armor on him?
He has 2 soak.
Okay, so my Pierce 5 will get rid of that.
Wow. Yep.
So it's plus 2 damage. So my brawn is 4, 6 plus the successes 7, 8, 9. So 10 points of damage straight to him.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me how you kill the cat.
So as the ones got my leg, I hear like the auto fire go off, and I jump back to the side. I do what's best described as a Count Dookian hand flip, like a disengage with my rapier, and then I'll bring it up and like do a half circle walk around it. And as the cat like paws out, I'll lunge forward and catch him right through the mouth and put the tip of the rapier through the back of the neck. And then
Yeah.
I'll recoil it out and like flip the blood and sheath it.
Nice. Yeah, the cats are taken care of. And yeah, kind of silence falls for a second. Then you hear shouting from the town up ahead. The girls are very impressed. You can tell by the way they're looking at you, like, "How did you do that? That was crazy! Oh my god! And you were so quick! You know, the flips and you did the shots!" And they're just like speaking excitedly the whole time. But you can hear like "ah ah" from the town up ahead.
Yeah, my eyes would shoot to Dante and Shay, and I'd say, "Oh no, I think something's wrong."
Yes, it sounds
Come
like
on,
there's
get in. Let's head back.
some commotion. Yes, and Che will hop right onto the swoop bike, ready to approach with the others.
Yeah, I'll jump on as well, and I'll do we feel anything like perhaps a disturbance in the force?
Yeah, I think you do. Let's do a I guess discipline. I don't know how you would feel the force without force sense. I think let's use discipline for now. Difficulty 3.
Okay.
Discipline goes off willpower, right?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one then.
Oh,
Jeez, guys. All right. So something's definitely up. You can, I think, Pawn, you would feel like a coldness, uh, which you've been told before might be to do with the dark side, but it's not specific enough for you to be sure. And the rest of you guys are having trouble sensing anything, really.
yeah. Dante's distracted with slipping an arm around protectively around the girl, and it'll be okay. Giving her comfort, not really paying attention to his surroundings.
Yeah. So you guys speed back to the town as quickly as you can. You can see that it's quite a bit of chaos as people are standing. Some of them on roofs, some of them in the streets, just like firing blasters at these cats. There's like 30 of these cats in the town, all over the place, just like running around trying to bite people, like taking food from shops and stuff, or like attacking livestock. But they have it nearly under control. You can see it. There's more bodies than cats at this stage. Seems to be just a few left.
Well, I think I know what needs to be done here. And Che swings a leg up over the swoop bike as it's coming down to the ground, and he pulls out his blaster rifle. And does it look like? So it sounds like, and what we're seeing is it's the flow of these beasts has already been ebbed, or might there be a source somewhere still that we might see?
It looks like there was tons of these things, but the people of the town, I mean, they're kind of on the frontier. They know what they're doing. They managed to like beat most of them. There's still a couple left. There's probably about 10 left. So let's do initiative again. Yeah, let's just do it again. Holy shit.
The fuck? Wah, wah, wow.
Guns jammed.
Okay, so it's them and then you, basically. So 3 of these cats see or hear the approach at the speed of the and they turn and begin running toward your direction. These are slightly bigger than the ones you had faced previously. They look a bit more organized, like they have more purpose or something. And one of them is going to try and leap at whoever is in front. I'm going to say that's you, Che. As one of them tries to leap towards you. Do you have any defense?
Yeah, I got a not defense, but I would like to suffer with my dodge ability. I got 2 ranks in it, so I'll suffer another 1 point of strain just to make this attack an extra purple for it.
Okay, nice.
But yeah, other than that, no, I don't have. I only have 3 soak, no defense.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, some of these cats is like bounding towards you and is going to try and leap up and get you. That's a wash. It leaps over you and past you and kind of comes to a halt behind you guys, just purring on the ground. And then another three rush forward, and this one, two, is going to run at you since you're at the front and just try and leap on you. And also just leaps right past you. You're way too quick. You're just your preternatural Jedi reflexes moving you out of the way of the attack, and two of them have like leaped behind you now, and they're looking confused as they didn't get you. And then it's one of you guys.
How
You can go
close
if
are,
you want.
I was just going to ask, how close are the cats at this point?
There's two of you right behind, two of them right behind you. The others would be medium, I think. No, they'd be short actually if they got to you this turn. So yeah, they'd be all short.
Okay, so I'm not exactly. I don't know, Andrew. Do you know when trying to use the influence, what kind of roll is that? Do I base it off an ability, or is it a straight kind of force roll, or?
I think influence is based off of some kind of presence check. Let me look real quick.
Yeah, it's probably against their discipline, I guess.
Well, what I'm trying to do is it's basically you can attempt to guide, shape, or twist the thoughts and feelings of others. And you can either use dark side for negative emotions such as rage, fear, and hatred, or white side for peace, tranquility, and friendliness.
It's so you're just doing normal like influence as a basic power.
Yeah.
When using. Yeah, I guess it's just I guess it's just a force roll.
Okay.
Okay, and what? So that's just the force dice.
Yeah, whatever your force rating is.
Okay. Oof. Okay. Well, so basically, as these cats are charging us, and you'll see Dante's brow kind of furrow slightly as he brings up a hand, and he's going to he can affect two targets, and he is going to basically try to cause intense feelings of fear in them to try to make them run.
Excellent.
Just like I said, instinctively, not even realizing or thinking of the consequences of tapping into
Yeah,
that.
definitely. Yeah, you definitely would. Let me see. I wonder, do they roll anything, or does it just happen?
I know it's weird, right? Because off of influence basic power, there's actual control, which is added to like a coerce, charm, deception, or leadership or negotiation check. So I know like under that, there's some kind of potential for resistance because it's an opposed check. But like the basic roll, I'm not quite sure.
Maybe it's kind of a more subtle kind of influence that you're doing. So it's not going to force necessarily. I think what it will do is, yeah, the two who haven't jumped yet from that pack, they'll kind of stand there nervously, kind of like pawing the ground and stuff. So
What it says here is it says, where did it go? If he succeeds, he may force the target to adopt an emotional state such as fear, friendliness, or hatred, or to believe something untrue. The effect lasts for roughly 5 minutes or 1 round in combat. If the Force user has the ability to affect multiple minds with his power, such as magnitude, which I do have, he may do so. But it looks like they do get a discipline
right, okay,
check, and it's of the highest one if they have different ones.
okay, right, okay, yeah, sweet. So then they don't have that as a skill, so it'll just be their willpower. Okay, it looks like they resist. Is that right, do you think? Is there a difficulty involved?
It should be his discipline versus theirs.
Okay.
Because you're using the actual control ability, right, Dennis? It's like influence is the basic power, but you're using it as like the control.
Okay. Yeah, sweet. So then, yeah, it will work. You'll see them looking kind of excited at the prospect of this feast. But then, as you raise your hand and you lift it, I can imagine almost your fingers going from like a relaxed to sort of a curling of
Yeah,
angry fingers.
this yeah, that's brief kind of aggressive posture just takes hold of his features and his body as it tightens, and they could become almost claw-like as he exerts his will over these creatures.
Nice, yeah. So those that pack, those three or those two, they're going to just like stand there, almost paralyzed by fear. All right, so you get one conflict. Okay, and who goes next?
Che could bear down. I think those two cats kind of went behind him, and there's this pack as well that's just beyond in short range. So maybe he'll bear down and just take a standard shot at one of them. Yeah, and here goes. Ooh, fail, and triple advantage, and a triumph. Maybe the sound of the gun blasting off with this triumph, and maybe even the advantages too, maybe it sort of finishes off the psychic effects of these cats, and like the two behind him as he's blasting away, maybe they do finally run off.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like whatever the control they're under, if it's the case, they seem to kind of almost like shake their heads, and yeah, on their turn they will probably flee. Okay, Pawn.
So they're all just like full retreat.
Um, the two that had leaped over, one of whom was already controlled by fear, will definitely be going next turn. Basically, one of the packs will be running. There's still another pack though of three.
And are they closing in on us, or are they engaged with somebody else?
No, they're closing in on you.
Okay. Yeah. How far?
They're short.
Short. Yeah. Okay. I'll draw my rapier, so that's one maneuver, and then I will engage with the second maneuver, taking 2 strain. So, and I'll go down into a lunge position again, and I'll start crouching forward. You said these things have 1 melee defense?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to use difficulty?
Yeah, let's.
Okay. And as I think it makes a tactical error, like 2 of the cats hit each other as they're trying to go in the same direction, I will use that and like jump up and stab downward with the rapier.
Nice. Okay,
Ooh.
it's an interesting roll. So it's definitely going to hit. Is that enough for a crit on the melee?
With this it is, with the saber. Yep. Or with the rapier rather. Yeah, so once again it'll do 3, what is it? So 9 points of damage. And then
kill the one for sure.
Okay, so we won't even bother with the crit. So yeah, I'll jab it like really deep into the body coming down. Maybe I don't know what you want to do with the despair, but maybe it like fucks up my weapon or something.
Yeah, maybe it bends or something. Like you stab down to the bottom, then this thing like wriggles and it's just like dying in spasms. And when you pull the rapier out, there's a sort of bend in the middle, making it more of a normal rapier, less of a vibro one, until it gets some repairs done.
Yeah, so as I withdraw it, I'll be like, "Oh no, he destroyed my weapon!" And I'll like jump back and like start like shaking it around, and it's not vibrating.
Nice. So that pack then will flee. The one behind you and the 2 in front that had been affected by fear, and now with the noise of the guns, they seem to have been overcome by fear, and they're just going to run out of the town as quickly as they can through alleyways and stuff to get the hell out of there. The other pack, however, having lost a member, is going to leap upon you, Pawn, in vengeance.
This time I do not have a defense because that came as a benefit of the rapier.
Okay. All right. So it'll be 8 damage.
All right, so out of that, 3 of it will come through, I believe.
Yeah, you said you had 5, right? So.
Yep.
Yeah, so one of them is going to kind of leap upon you and try and sink its teeth into you slightly more deeply than they had previously. And any ideas for the threat?
Maybe while the cat has me in his like grasp, we wrestle around a bit, and I can roll him into a position that opens him up for attack to those guys.
Yeah.
Like spin him around.
That's perfect. So then it is your guy's turn. One of you.
You can go first, Dante. I think Che was facing the other way. It'll take him a moment to flip around.
Okay, so his body will suddenly relax. The brief realization of what he might have just done kind of moves over him, but he pushes it away as he sees his friend being chomped on by this cat as he'll bring up his pistol to try to take another shot at the thing.
Nice. If you're shooting the one that Andrew was just fighting, you can have a boost. Since he's positioned it in a way to move it into your line of sight. Nice.
So that would be 4 stun damage.
Okay. So you shoot that cat that Pawn is wrestling with, and I think maybe as you shoot it, it rolls out of your grasp and manages to duck itself behind something, a crate. Okay, and then it's your turn, Che.
So the cat
Pawn,
just sort of... Oh, what was that?
Or Pawn, sorry, I always forget that it's not actually... It's really up to you guys.
Well, yeah, actually I would wait if after this cat just got out of Pawn's grip, he could act first.
Oh yeah, sure. So when he releases me, I will just drop the rapier and go into like a forced martial arts stance, and I will go in and do like the Obi-Wan Kenobi feint, and then a little bit of a side trip around and then flying kick.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, I'm nowhere near as good with this. I'll take 2, actually, yeah, I still have to engage it, so, or no, I'm still engaged with it, so I will aim once for this kick.
Oh, shit.
That'll work.
Yeah, so as I like feint and I loop around, I will go in for the kick. 9 points of damage.
Holy shit. Yeah, you kill it with the kick. That's insane.
The where I'll place the kick will get it like right in the liver, and I'll impact like so deep into the beast's side that I just like shock the liver into stopping.
Yeah. It just kind of shudders for a moment and just falls.
I think you just kicked out its stomach bug.
Yeah, and I'll land on the ground and like roll backwards and do a handspring.
All right, Che, it's just one left. It's looking nervous now.
Oh, Che won't even bother firing directly at the beast. He's going to fire right up into the air again and just holler out, "Rah!" and kick dirt at it.
Excellent. Let's just say coercion.
Cool. All right.
And you can have a boost.
All right. On 2 purple?
Yeah.
All right, here it comes. Failed, but I got some advantage.
I think it opens the creature up. It like looks kind of confusedly at you as you fire up into the air. It does look nervous. Like you can see it's like shaking and it's looking around, and you can see behind it now the townspeople have dealt with most of the ones that they're facing. This is one of the last ones left, so it's going to give a big boost to the next person. The cat, however, is going to go first, and it's going to try and tear your throat out.
And yeah, he's feeling the edge of being in a hard spot, so he's going to have to use that dodge again, and he'll use 2 this time. So he's going to take 2 strain and add 2 purple to the attack.
Nice. Okay.
And he's not looking good on the strain there.
It fails spectacularly. It tries to leap for you, but doesn't even manage to get the strength up properly to get at you, and it just like hits the front of the speeder bike and rolls down into the dirt underneath. And then it's one of you guys.
I guess that would be. I'm the only one left, right?
It's a new round.
wait, no.
It's
Okay,
any of you.
that's right. Okay, that's right. Yeah, I went last round.
So who wants to go? Any of you.
Pan will take it if nobody else is. Because
Cool.
I see this one like right in front of Che. So while I'm on my like martial arts killing spree, I will start to like circle around the back of this one with like a very animalistic like cat-like prowl. And when I get into range, I will look at him using the force and like just feel the life essence and like notice that it has a problem with its back. So I'll use it and I will jump in and just try to target the weakness.
Nice.
Bam, power punch. Okay. Same deal. I'll use 1 aim again. Bam.
Oh yeah. Jesus.
So 8 points of damage as I come striking down on the beast's back.
Yeah, you break it. You just come down and crack. There's an audible crack as you force punch this thing, and it just falls flat onto the ground. And you can see now as a final sort of blaster shot from the villagers up ahead finishes last as you think. There's bodies everywhere for these weird cats, and people are calling out like, "Darling, are you okay?" The sounds of the aftermath of a battle.
I'll look to Che and I'll smile, and then my smile will start to fade and fall into a frown as my arm twitches, and I look down and I see that I've got like a blue Icarus blood like running down, trickling down my fingers, and I've torn my side open, and I go, "Oh, those cats got me good."
Yeah, that's a bad one there. And Che will sling his rifle over his shoulder, and he'll get down and he'll look at the wound, but he'll look back up and say, I think maybe we need to get you back to Master Arn.
Let's get the girls inside first. Make sure they're safe.
He's right. You should suck it up, Pawn.
Pano like walk over and pick up the broken rapier, and he'll sheath it, and he'll like let out a wince as he moves his arm just the perfectly wrong way. He'll go, "Ugh, you're right. No, I'll be okay. Come on, let's go."
One of the girls comes up to you, Pun, and she says, "You're the bravest person I've ever seen," and she gives you a kiss.
Yeah, he'll get like a little bit of blush on his cheeks as she does it, but then he'll like wince again as she presses up against his arm. He'll say, "Bravery hurts so much."
So they'll try and take care of you as best they can, like with little bits of bandages and stuff like that. But it's not really too helpful. I guess you can get 2 wounds back as they like wrap you up and stuff.
I'll try to like meditate or something while they're doing it. Try to like
Yeah.
cool my mind down.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, you're in this house, and then an older man will enter. He'll say, thank you for saving the girls, and thank you for helping us. It's so strange. This isn't the first time this happened, but this is so many. These cats, they sometimes come and they prowl around, and Sometimes they kill livestock, but I've never seen anything like this.
Has there been anything else strange recently?
Strange. Well, no. Strange things happen around here. In a long time, about a year ago, we exiled someone. He was herding animals.
Hmm. Do you know where is it that these cats come from?
In the forest to the east, mostly, from what I've seen.
Well, maybe the master will take a look, but I think we need to return Pond to see his wounds taken care of.
I see. Of course, yeah. Maybe it would be best to get the master.
Pan will look at the two of you and say, if there's somebody controlling these beasts, we might miss our opportunity if we go back to the master.
Are you sure you're up for it?
Pan will look down at his arm that's like wrapped up like a mummy, and he'll say, I think there's wisdom in me bearing through the pain. It's what Arn would want me to do.
That's the spirit, Pawn, and I slap him on the back.
He'll wince really bad and like lean forward.
You think back to Aaron one time saying, "Sacrifice is the noblest of all virtues." You think, yeah, he would want that.
So Pan will say, "Do you have a spanner or something? I damaged the vibrational capacitor on my vibro rapier."
Of course, yeah. I'll fetch the local mechanic, and this guy will come over a few minutes later, and he'll have a couple of tools.
Now, what a level would you say this thing is broke to, Lloyd? Minor, moderate, or major?
I would say minor.
Okay. I should blow this thing's doors off then. Do you want to up the difficulty of it?
No, it's okay. I think you should have a weapon.
Okay,
nice.
yeah. I repair it.
Yeah, technical aptitude is definitely something the Jedi value as well. And so I guess you'd have done simple repairs to like the things around the temple a few times, and you're able to crank this thing until it vibrates again.
Luckily, this weapon only takes one hand to use. So with my, but ooh, you know what though? Let's say that the arm that I wounded is my sword arm. So I'm going Dread Pirate Robert / Nigo Montoya. I'm going to use it in my offhand.
Nice.
How
That's
about
awesome.
that shit?
Yeah.
So what would you say mechanically? Two setback?
Yeah, one or two. Let's go with two because it's dramatic.
Yeah, and I haven't been training with my offhand. Like, it's going to be really sloppy.
Yeah.
So
Maybe if
instead
you
of like,
get a few good hits in, we can lower it to one to show like that you're getting used to it.
oh, I love it. So instead of
Interesting.
like sheathing it the normal way, I'll have to like throw it up in the air and grab it and sheath it on the same side.
Yes. Nice.
Without stabbing yourself in the leg, hopefully.
Yeah, sorry. What were you saying, Justin?
Oh, I was going to say something along the lines of just as you're remembering Master Arn saying sacrifice is the noblest form of virtue, Che would be saying it out loud in unison with your memory of it and patting you on the back a little gentlier now from the hard one he had already done earlier.
I also remember the time when it was raining really bad, and he brought the Jedi to come speak with us, his friend. We'll call him K1 Yar. And K1 Yar was giving us an inspirational speech, and he was like, "The Jedi Order and the Force made me what I am today." And there was like a lightning crack outside. He turned. He was missing his left arm.
Yeah.
Like it had been like taken off, and there's like no prosthetic or anything put in place. He just left the arm off.
Yes. The dude from Starship Troopers. That's so good. Awesome. Yeah, so you guys can take a little bit of time to like recover or whatever, but what do you want to do now?
Try to get some directions to the general area where these cats normally hole up.
Yeah, Mayron will tell you that they don't really hunt the cats. They don't follow them in there. They just try and keep them away from here. And usually it works. Like occasionally one will appear, but if they kill it, usually it'll be a few months before another one dares risk it. They never come in numbers like this, but he knows that they tend to come from the east.
Well, perhaps we can get a few supplies and some rations and head out and see what we can find.
That sounds like a plan. I much more than food and drink, I don't think I have need for though. And then he kind of motions to the strap holding on his rifle as well.
All right, sweet. So you guys get a little bit of food and water and whatnot, and you can jump back on your speeders. Um,
We might want to ride double mounted. Pon's gonna have a hard time.
yeah.
Was there a roll I could make there to get some strain back, or do I just get like 2 back for like in my wounds or something?
It's after any combat you can do a simple discipline roll.
Oh, cool. And you get 1 back for each success?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So, no good. White knuckle tension.
There's no difficulty, right? This isn't supposed to be purple.
There isn't, but all it would mean for him is 2 advantage.
Another advantage, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys can double up. Who's getting Pawn on the back of their bike?
I think
It'd be,
probably Dante. I
I
think,
got the rifle on that back.
yeah, he's got the rifle, and he'll kind of have to take the lead as far as kind of like tracking and stuff, I think.
All right, sweet. Yeah, so you guys mount up, and the townspeople are like waving. They're gathered and waving and saying, thank you for your help, thank you," as you fly off into the forest at blinding speed. Now, what specifically are you looking for?
Tracks laid by large amounts of these feline predators.
Yeah.
To kind of find where they may have been funneled from if anything like that happened.
Awesome, yeah. So you can slow the speed of your speeder down to maybe that of a jog, and then you can have a look. So survival.
Sounds good.
It'd be just difficulty 1 because there was so many of them.
All right, I got a rank in it, but I only have 1 cunning. Double success.
Excellent. Yeah, you're looking around and you can see that these there's almost like flattened grass and stuff here in the forest, and occasional like scratches in trees and stuff. You definitely the signs of a large amount of these predators passing, and you can follow them east through the woods.
Okay.
This is now definitely beyond where you've been before. You know, you're in strange territory.
Yeah, Shay would have gotten off the swoop, inspected the tracks, stood up, tasted a little bit of the dirt, and just look forward and say, "We go east," and then yeah, he'd be on the scoop bike heading that way.
Nice.
Still keeping an eye out to make sure the tracks don't just disappear or whatever.
Yeah, as you're going, you can again feel that feeling of like coldness, something not pleasant. So he's going to give me a discipline roll, please. Difficulty will be 2. Okay. So Dante, you kind of close your eyes as you're kind of stopped looking for tracks, and take a deep breath and try to center yourself, and you get the feeling definitely of the dark side of the force. There's something bad. There's like a coldness and a cruelty, like a hate, that you can sense in the area ahead. But also, weirdly, as you kind of like close, and if you can imagine, you can see like the map of the forest almost laid out. There's like a dark patch that's just like blind, further to the south of where you are now.
The moment that he makes contact with this darkness, panic wells up within him, as at first he believes that he is the source of this,
Nice.
knowing, that he tapped into that darkness when they were dealing with cats, and he panics, jumps off the bike, kind of stalking off the path, leaning a hand against a tree as he tries to control his quickened breathing and the thudding of his heart. And then he realizes, and this huge sense of relief comes over him as he realizes it's not from him. But then the magnitude of it, again, it's just the swirling emotions that would be visible and almost palpable to the other two as he rides this roller coaster and realizes that there's this darkness that he senses. And he'll take a few moments to compose himself, and he'll turn, lean back against the tree, and he's like, I sense a darkness here. And he'll visibly shudder, like a shiver of cold going down his spine.
Pan will look down and say, I sense nothing. My pain's too strong. It's distracting me.
I sense it not myself, but if you can guide us, I will bring myself to bear on it.
What direction was it?
So the actual sense of coldness of the dark side was coming from further east, but to the south there was a different. Darkness is the wrong word because it implies dark side. It's like a blindness, like the section that's not showing up.
So yeah, I would say that the darkness is ahead further to the east. It is likely tied to whatever happened in town, but there's something else, almost like an absence. I can't sense beyond it, and it is close by.
Well, guard yourself as you carry two on your swoop. I will take point as we continue on towards this anomaly.
Okay, so you're going towards the source of the darkness, yeah? Yeah, excellent. So you guys get back in the swoops and are flying through the forest once again, taking your time now, a little bit more careful, I think, in the face of the information that you have. The sense would become stronger, the sense of foreboding, your feelings becoming kind of tumultuous as you can feel this sort of dark presence. And you'll begin to see cats in tree branches. They won't attack, but you'll see them kind of like occasionally looking, watching, as you're moving ever eastward. That sense of the blindness is becoming stronger to you, Dante. It seems as though it's following you.
So I will remain aware of that, but at the moment as we're moving toward this darkness and dealing with these cats around it, I'll just keep that to myself for now.
All right, so you guys are continuing onwards towards this source of darkness, and the other sense becomes even stronger to the point where suddenly you don't feel a connection to the force for a moment, and then out of nowhere, like impossibly quick, a reddish form leaps from a branch towards you, Dante, specifically. You get to see this flash of like red scales, claws, and teeth. Let's see here.
Oh shit! Is it like an Islamari?
It's something like that. It doesn't show up in the forest. It hides its presence in the forest, and it leaps, towards you, and it's going to smash you off the bike onto the ground, and it's going to do some damage to you. It's going to be 8.
So
as a
after my
bite,
soak, it'll be
fangs.
5, or does it have any
It has
piercing?
Pierce 1, sorry. Just have Pierce 1.
So 2. So I'll take 6.
What does that mean for a pawn who's riding on the back?
Yeah, I think so. You'd be like riding, and I think you wouldn't even be sensing it, Pawn, right? So previously you hadn't really had the strong connection since your pain.
Is there any way I can try to make a roll to kind of ditch the bike in a way as to save pawn as much damage as possible? Or
yeah, I think you probably could. Let's do piloting planetary.
what's the difficulty?
It's going to be 4.
Sorry, pawn.
Because you're not expecting this at all.
Yeah.
This is why Master Arn told us to always pay attention.
I want to go ahead and flip a point. I don't know what much, but yikes.
Okay, so you're not going at full speed at this stage, otherwise this thing would be able to jump on you. I'm guessing you're going a little bit slower to kind of keep your eyes open, whatever. And then it just like out of nowhere upon you're just like kind of, oh, my arm really hurts, and then boom, Dante is gone. He's like, reached down to the floor, and the swoop bike just begins to veer wildly. It's going right for a tree at the moment, so I'm going to need you to make a coordination, difficulty 3.
Okay, let me
You
check
can do
enhanced.
it.
Let me check enhanced really quick to see if that works with coordination too, or if it's just athletics.
If you have to buy into it, I believe.
For coordination.
Yep.
Okay.
It's an upgrade.
Alright, that's going to make this a little bit harder. Alright, what difficulty did you say it was?
3.
3. Alright, and I'll use a Destiny point. Alright, any setback or anything?
No, you're fine.
Okay, big money, no whammy. Smack!
Yeah, bam, into the tree. You smash right into the tree, and the swoop bike like bends and breaks around the tree itself. So I think you'll take 6 damage.
Is that still soakable?
I wonder. Maybe I should just up it if you have high soak. I don't know. That seems a bit lame now that you said you have high soak, but I should remember that. Let's say you just take 3 damage without soak.
What if I just take the normal damage, but I get a critical injury?
Oh yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Do you have the chart for critical injuries?
I don't have it handy.
Oh, one second. I got it. If
Okay.
you want to roll a D100, I can tell you what it is.
Let's do it. 7. That's not going to be too bad, I think.
7%?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, that's going to be slowed down. The target
Injured
can only
offhand.
act during the last allied initiative slot. Let's say that it like injured up. What if it busts my kneecap, my right kneecap?
Nice. Yeah. So you're on the back of this thing and you see the thing coming. You lift your arms up and your legs, and it just smashes into your right kneecap as you hit the tree and roll down onto the ground.
I'll just let out this howl like a crate dragon as I fall down and just tumble. Ah! My leg! It's broke!
Jesus. All right, let's do initiative. It's going to be vigilance for you guys. Oh, fuck. That's a lot of advantages. Oh, no percentile.
Jesus, man. 5 advantages?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing this is a vigilance one, right?
This is vigilance for sure, yeah. All right, so it looks like, I mean, the advantages don't count towards anything in initiative, do they?
Just tiebreakers.
Just tiebreakers, okay.
So like you would have beat what?
Yeah.
Che rolled, basically.
All right. So yeah, this huge, maybe the size of a horse, sort of lizard. It's got these two tails that are like whipping around. It's like leapt out of the branches and it's leapt on top of Dante. It's sunk its teeth into him, and you guys can see it. So, what would you do?
Hearing the crash of the bike and my legs broke, and I'd bring my swoop to a halt and try to get my rifle out, bring it to bear.
Yep.
And right, 2 purple.
Yep. Oh, sorry, a purple and a red.
All right. And I'll just do the regular aim.
Okay.
Or, well, I guess I'm stopping the bike for a lot of it too, so I won't do that. And then, yeah, I'll let her rip.
Oh, nice.
And I got an idea for the threat. Like I hit some of the wreckage of their swoop, and maybe that fuel's on fire now.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's great. What's the damage?
10 for the heavy blast rifle.
So 13. Because you got so many hits.
Yeah. And it's crit 3, but is that advantages for the crit, or is it successes? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sweet. It's quite a lot. All right, so yeah, you pull the bike to a stop and you fire. Ridiculous shot. It just kind of skims the other blaster, the other swoop bike, and ignites the fuel that's leaking on the ground right next to Pon. But then it smashes into this thing's shoulder and lets out a horrible noise as you hit it. Nice. Okay, Pon.
Everybody's went but me.
No, actually, it could be Dante as well.
Yeah, because I have to go last from the injury.
Oh, okay, I see.
Okay, so I'm basically pinned by this thing, and it's got like its maw around my shoulder or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can feel now that this thing is like actively hiding itself in the Force. It's like some sort of evolutionary thing that it has that it doesn't show up in the Force. That's why you weren't able to see it until it was right on you.
Hmm. So, decisions. I think with the stress of the situation, that well, I don't know. I guess he would probably be a little leery to reach out to the Force, given his recent experience and that the feeling of that dark side, and now this absence of. So he's just gonna scramble, kind of like push against the cat with his left hand, and with his right, slide it into his jacket to slide on his vibro knucklers. I don't know if he'll be able to get him on this round or not.
Yep. So one to push away or move away from it, and then one to put them on, I guess. So you take a strain or 2 strain, right?
Okay, and then I can attack.
Yep.
So basically, yeah, he's just going to start screaming as much as panic and fear as any kind of bravery in this thing's face as he just starts pummeling it in its face with his vibro knucklers. Or at least attempting to. What's the difficulty, 2?
1 purple, 1 red. This thing is an adversary.
This is not going to go very well, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're kind of swinging, but you're afraid, and the fear is making you afraid of being afraid, because fear is a bad feeling for a Jedi, and so you're trying to control your emotions while you're trying to hit this thing, and it's just too much for you to handle, and so you're kind of swinging clumsily rather than thinking back on your forms, unfortunately unable to connect. It is going to whip its tail at you. Let's see here. Ooh. Okay, it's gonna hit you for 7, pierce 1, and then it crits you also. 41. Someone has the table there.
Yeah, 41 is bowled over. The target is knocked prone and suffers 1 strain.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so you stand up and you're trying to swing at this thing, and you can't really see your friends. You saw the blaster shot hit, but Che is a little bit too far away in the thick forest for you to see. You feel like you're alone as this thing is just like it's targeted you and it's fighting you. It's bitten you now. It whips its tail under your legs and it lashes into the back of your legs, and you just go flying back onto your back, vulnerable. Okay, and then Pawn.
Would it be cool if I like hold my action until Dennis gets up
Yes.
with
Sure.
with Dante? Because I have a cool idea.
Okay. So then Dante.
Che could go if you want for now.
Yeah, sure.
He's going to seeing the range he's at. He's going to let the rifle go slack on its strap, and he'll just spend his action bringing the swoop bike in closer to what's going on.
Sure. Okay. Sounds good to me. Yeah, you get a little bit closer, and you can see now the chaos. This horse-sized lizard sort of creature. Several predatory animals mixed into one, some sort of chimera type thing that's just like horror made form, and it's like bowled over Dante, and it's like leering over him now. Okay, Dante.
So sprawled on the ground, the pain and disorientation of the mighty blow of the tail washes over him as he tries to scramble to his feet. He makes it to his knees. The fear now rolling out of control through him as he just reaches out with his mind, again screaming, but this time more filled with anger, more aggression, as he attempts to reach out to the force against this thing.
All right.
And so it'll be what discipline we said.
Discipline
right?
plus the force die, I think. It's how we probably should do it.
Yep. And yep. Wow.
That's crazy good. Okay, so 8 rolls discipline in response, right?
The
Yep.
disappoint is like it should be all done in one roll, like as an opposed.
Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to roll it as difficulty.
Oh, okay.
What is
It
his,
has 2 willpower, no discipline.
So would that be 2 purple then?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So still 4 successes on the dark side point.
Yeah. So yeah, basically he's with the base power he inflicts 1 strain, and then I guess he's probably going to take another conflict.
Is it the influence power again?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you take another conflict, certainly as you lash out in hate or anger.
And I
And fear, I
basically
guess.
want to try to just I'm basically, I guess, trying to push my fear into him, into this creature,
Nice.
and almost the act of trying to expel it from me and force it into it.
Okay. All right, yeah, so you, Pawn, then would see Dante stand and like push his hand out. Again, initially kind of the soft movements of a Jedi, but then you would see his arm like tense and almost shake as he like points, and you can see anger in his face as he tries to affect this thing.
Pawn will yell at him. he's like reeling in pain with his knee, and he'll look back and see it. And he'll go, Dante, snap out of it! And I'll yank the rapier off of my side, and I'll throw the rapier to him so he can fucking grab it and dual wield it with his vibro knuckler.
Nice. So I guess it's coordination from Dante to catch it. And I think it would be difficult, just one.
Not exactly his strong suit, but we'll give it a try.
Maybe we should see how good your throw is as well.
Oh. Disadvantage.
Alright, so you throw the vibro rapier, and it lands on the ground before you, but you're not able to, like, it'll be a maneuver next turn to pick it up rather than having it ready. I think because you didn't catch it, I guess. But it is close enough that it's only the maneuver. Let's see. That was Pawn's turn. See, Volga? No, Pawn will go again now. It's your turn.
I'm playing it like he can't move. That was Pawn's.
Okay.
That was Pawn's move.
Okay.
I'll just yell, grab the rapier! Don't succumb to the dark side! I can see it in you!
He
Nice.
probably should start trying to slide away from the speeder bike as the flames are going towards it.
That's true.
I'm not fucking moving, man. Like, I have a broken leg.
Jesus Christ. All right. So then it would be you guys went, so it would be the Night Hunter. It is going to reel away from you, Dante, like afraid of whatever weird sorcery you've done to it. You'll see it was just snarling, and then it'll continue snarling, but one of its big sort of reptilian paws will just move back, and it'll begin moving back. But I think it would see yourself, Che, moving towards it on the other side, and it doesn't seem to be as afraid of you. It's going to try and make a bite for you.
Excellent.
Do you want to use your dodge?
No, I'm going to let this one, it's come to Papa time.
Okay. All right. So that would be 10, Pierce 1.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I got 3 soaks, so
So you take 8.
8. Excellent.
Yeah, like a lightning bolt, this thing just goes from looking at Dante and backing away from him to seeing you, and just snarls and leaps forward and wraps its jaw around you. And then it's one of your turns. Whoever wants to go.
Well, Che could
Yeah,
trying
probably
to
Che.
Che trying to wrestle out of this beast's grasp, maybe even be rolling off of his swoop bike itself, and yeah, he'll try to bring the rifle up. And a purple and a red.
Yeah.
And he would go so far as to aim for this one. Try and get him. How many eyes does this guy have? 2 side by side, like a cat or a reptilian predator?
Yeah, it would be one on each side of his head.
Yeah, I'll try to peg him right between those spots. But yeah, just 2 advantage there.
Okay. I think maybe you make a flinch as it just doesn't. You just kind of graze, doesn't connect with an eye, but it flinches down, giving a boost to the next person who's trying to attack it. Okay, Dante.
Okay, first I'm going to make a discipline roll. Okay, so despite his companion's attempt, Dante is just caught in a grip of this moment, unwilling to let the creature go from his grasp as he begins stalking forward, kind of shuffling with his injuries as he absently reaches down with one hand, pulling up the vibroblade as he will attempt to inflict another mental strain on this creature.
All right.
So this time, since he's already invoked that fear, he won't use the dark side, but he will use, you know, inflict another mental strain on the creature as he's got it in his grip. Well, no,
Yeah,
I do actually have to spend it to do the
I
for the
think you
basic
probably
power
do, yeah.
too. Yep. So yeah, I guess yep.
Okay.
He's just too caught up in this moment. He's just stalking forward and
Yeah,
continuing
it's
to inflict.
it's kind of about survival, I can imagine, It's like if I don't do this, we might all die. I want to protect my friends. Attachment leads to the dark side.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons he tells himself that he's doing it.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, Pawn, anything from you?
Um, how on fire is like the wreckage around me?
So it's kind of a slick of fuel that's on fire and it's moving cinematically slowly upwards to the actual fuel tanker.
When it is about to hit the fuel tanker, because I have to wait till the last minute, so it's actually risking. I will hone the force and roll up on my back and try to handspring myself like straight up into the tree, like out of the way, using my enhanced athletics.
Excellent. Let's do it. It's getting there. Now that you're looking, it's moving incredibly quickly, right up to the fuel tank.
And I'll think to myself, Master Arn, why didn't you prepare us for this? I'm about to die, and Dante is succumb in the shadow. And I'll oh, what's the difficulty?
Trying to handspring up into the tree. There are low branches. Let's say 2.
Should I do 1 setback for my leg and 1 setback for my arm?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right, this is like a super move. Here we go.
Wow.
Okay, here's my suggestion. So as I'm yelling, Arn, why? You failed us! I'm about to die, and Dante succumbed to Shadow! And I want me screaming Shadow with the triumph to fucking bust Dante out of his dark side magnetism and bring him back to the light as I go up in flames.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. That's great. That's super dramatic. So yeah, you scream this in Dante. You like hear the kind of desperation and sincerity in his voice. You're like, what am I doing? Yeah, and the fires. Huge explosion from the fuel tank. So how unhealthy are you, Pon?
Well,
I have
I was just gonna say, as part of that triumph, if he's like trying to force leap, maybe he misses the tree, but it still propels him to the edge of the explosion, so it kind of like throws him, but he's not actually caught by any of like the flames or.
Right, maybe you got caught by some of them, but you almost accidentally use like the force to push yourself away. So you're gonna get licked, but not consumed.
Well, here was my thought. Like, if my guy goes up as like a fucking bonfire, that's not necessarily death in this universe.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah.
we got cybernetic implants, like prosthetic legs and arms. So if you want to say like I like foil the handspring and just get blasted by this, I'll take the damage. Like, I'm down.
Hmm. Let's do 10 damage, ignoring soak, because I think your clothes won't help you against flames.
Okay, so that puts me at 2 remaining wounds. So it'll just like flame lick me and just all my like amphibious skin just like starts to boil forward and my head tendrils start to shrivel up and blacken in the back, and I go flying into a tree, and blue ichor shoots out of my mouth as I like fall down and just slump, my body smoldering, and there's like a dramatic cue of the music.
Yeah. I think both of you other guys will take 2 strain from seeing your friend exploded.
I think Dante will take an extra point of strain, given in his view that Pon kind of sacrificed himself to draw him out of this
Yeah.
grip of the dark side.
Big Pond, you're going to gain 5 points of morality. So you go up by 5, bringing you closer to the light. Okay, so that was Pond's turn, and then I think it's going to be you guys have both went. No, Chet, you haven't gone yet this round.
Okay. What Che's going to do is, seeing what just happened, this fireworks display, he's going to drop his rifle back down to the slack, just a strap over his back, and his emotions will take over. But he's just going to run, and he's going to swing unarmed at this beast from the side. He's going to go at it and brawl it.
Nice.
So that'll be brawl on one purple one.
Yep.
And all right, here it comes. All right, success and threat. Well, let me tell you what I think with the success for the attack is it's brawling. He goes for like one of the back legs or just a leg that doesn't seem to be used for attacking immediately or currently. And he goes right for a little claw on it or a talon. And he tears it off and he jams it into the beast. And so that's his attack. So I bet the threat, he's definitely got the attention of this creature.
Yeah, and you're right next to its tail, which hurts. Yeah, excellent. So that's sick. You pull off a talon, you slam it into this thing, and then it is going to try and whip its tail at you.
Oh, but for my damage, I guess that would be 1 success. Oh, yeah. So I do my brawn 3. And I think that's all, actually.
Okay.
So it probably sums it all up.
You want to use any dodge here?
Sure, yeah, I'll use another 2.
Okay.
So I'll increase the difficulty by 2 purple.
Wow. So it's going to hit you for 9 minus your soak.
All right, so 6. So I'll be at -1 wounds if that's a thing.
Oh, wow. That's a critical injury, is that right? Do you go to 0 and then you start taking them?
When you go below 0.
Okay, and do you go to 0 first and then start taking them, or?
It's the one that pushes you. So and you go unconscious. So he goes unconscious and he suffers a critical injury.
Jesus Christ!
Do I get strain for that too?
Strain?
Because I only have one.
That's okay.
Why I asked.
For being unconscious.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, crit. Oh, you rolled a crit though.
Let's see. This dude has a. Okay, 18 plus 10 is 28. I don't know what that is. Then you have the table handy?
Oh yeah, it's 28.
Yeah.
Discouraging wound. Flip 1 light side destiny point to a dark side destiny point.
Great, that's just what you guys need.
Make it a head ringer. Well, like he got clapped on the head too. That's what knocked him out.
Yeah. This whip-like tail just whoosh, slashes a hole into your face, and you're just like knocked unconscious next to this thing. And Dante, it's just you. Your friends are dying all around. Fear courses through you, but you've been called back to the light. Do you think you can stop this thing without the power of the dark side?
Hopefully, if I can roll some light side points. But basically, this time, I'm going to use another aspect of the influence control and do a coercion check. And basically, I'm going to, try to run it off with this, this influence that I have over it, and I'm trying to exert on it. Do a coercion check to run it off. Is just yell, "Go! Get out of here!"
All right, sounds good to me. You can see there's cats like watching on branches and stuff, like kind of gathered around watching this this thing fight you guys.
I'm
And
gonna flip a point because
yeah, I would.
Okay.
So it's 2 discipline this thing has.
So 2 purple, 2 green, 1 advantage, and force. Come on, baby.
Alright, so it's a light side force, but it's gonna not work, I guess. Tons of advantages though.
Yeah. Well, actually, I can use that light side point to add it to gain an access or an advantage. So, well, I've got 2 misses, so that actually wouldn't be enough. Dang it.
Okay.
So I guess he just kind of laughs in my face, I guess.
Yeah, but you have so much advantage, so something happens. Let's see. I think
maybe if he doesn't run off, he doesn't do anything for a turn as he's.
Yeah, he's struggling to gain control of himself as you're like standing there with your hand out, eyes closed, kind of like, listen, you just need to leave, and it's like struggling with that, trying to figure. That's what it does for its turn. It sits there, and you can see it like shaking its head, trying to get its bearings. You're still active, Pawn, right?
Yep, two wounds. I will vomit out all over myself and push up as I like scream in pain as my leg's snapping. And I start dragging my right leg behind me, my right arm in my sling. And I slowly make my way towards this lizard creature, just dragging myself with my last ounce of breath.
Oh man. Okay, Dante.
Okay, so now, having just been brought out, and now finally finding that center and calm, I'm going to attempt a similar thing, but now shifting from the aggressive to my more natural charm, and I'm going to try to exert, like a calm, friendly thing towards it as I begin to kind of sweet talk it to try to see if I can get it to calm and just leave us in search of other prey.
Okay.
Okay. So, since I was doing the control, the second control, it's just a skill check, so I don't have to use the dark side point. So basically, I got 2 successes and 4 advantages.
All right, yeah. So it kind of lowers its head and it looks around and it takes some steps back, as do the various cats who have kind of gathered. They kind of back away from your area, and a couple of moments later, they recede into the forest. You're left with a smoking bike, a smoking pawn, and an unconscious Che.
So there'll be a moment there as his shoulders sag as the creatures finally go away, and he's still internally dealing with this, this drastic situation of the struggle that he just went through and failed, but then managed to find his way back from, thanks to his friend. And there's that moment where he sees Che unconscious on the ground, bleeding, and then of course he looks over and to the smoldering pond, and he'll run over towards pond, shrugging out of his own torn and tattered jacket as he wraps it around pond and tries to put the flames out as he lowers him to the ground.
Yeah, Pawn will go down and he'll be like gasping.
Just breathe. It'll be okay. I gotta go check on Che, and once I seem to have the flames out, then I'll, well, I was gonna say quickly run, but with my down to 2 wounds, I'm pretty torn up too, so I kind of shuffle, leaving my own little bloody trail as I go over to Che and drop down to my knees and look him over real quick.
Yeah, I guess he's in bad shape. I mean, he's been bitten half to death.
Is there any kind of like, does he need to be stabilized? Is he going to continue to worsen? How does that work?
I'm not sure. Do you know, Andrew, how it works with bringing people back?
Yes, with normal rest, he will regain, I believe, one wound a day. Let
Okay,
me.
but he's not gonna like just like bleed out and die in front of me if I don't do something with
No.
this.
Nope. Yeah, so
Okay,
for each full night's of rest, the character will recover one wound. So until then, he's going to be unconscious.
okay. So I guess what Dante's plan would be is he looks down and sees that he's holding that vibro sword, and basically what he's going to attempt to do is basically make a litter that's big enough for these two guys that he can pull on the remaining uh, swoop bike to
Okay.
take him back to town because he's near dead
Yeah.
or near unconscious. I mean, there's just no continuing, and he'll consider himself lucky if he can get back to town. Though I don't know where we're location. Would it be quicker back to town or quicker back to our little monastery?
It's probably quicker back to town, but you think you'll
Okay.
actually be able to get more help at the monastery, obviously, because the master is there and he'll be able to do something.
Yeah, and I guess uh, a little bit selfishly, and not just for himself but his companions, to return in such utter defeat to town is not a thought that he wants to endure. So yeah, once he constructs this litter and secures it to the bike, and then obviously going, very slowly, will begin making his way back to the monastery.
Yeah, perfect. You begin to make your way back, and it'll take you a couple of hours at the speed you have to go with these dudes involved as well. Um, you'll see uh, as you approach the monastery, smoke from a fire, and as you approach, you'll see that there is some sort of shuttle that's landed, and you're kind of over the crest of that little tiny hill, just out of view, and you can see that out of the shuttle have stepped several stormtroopers, um, and the master is standing in the courtyard with his arms folded.
So once he crests the hill and uh, seeing the master, even despite the situation, a sense of relief will wash over him, uh, believing, of course, that the master is more than a match for uh, this as he kind of rises up on the bike to observe what's happening.
Yeah, you can't hear, but you can see a conversation happening with the stormtroopers like pointing and gesturing for him to get onto the ship, and he's shaking his head. And Yeah, it's tense. Like they're pointing and whatever, and he hasn't drawn a weapon or anything, but he's just kind of like has his hands up, and you feel like a tingle in the force as the stormtroopers kind of nod and get back on the ship.
So as soon as he sees that, he'll uh, feel the first bit of hope that he's felt all day, and he'll cast a glance back at his companion and say, "We're almost home, just hang on," and then begin carefully negotiating his way to continue on to the monastery.
Pon's favorite confection delights are all involve Minoc. So when you say we're almost there, Pon will say, "God, I'm starting to feel like an overdone Minoc."
Yeah, you can pull yourself into the monastery with the stormtroopers gone, and the master will look horrified. What happened? Quickly, inside! And he'll bring you inside, and he'll tend to you for the next few days.
Yeah, that brief moment of hope and relief. As soon as the master asks that question, uh, an obvious weight of like guilt and shame will wash over Dante, but he won't say anything, unable to find his voice as he helps get the other two inside.
Yeah, so I mean, you would speak with him over the next few days, and he would ask what specifically happened. Would you mention that you had felt the pull of the dark side, or would you keep that quiet?
I think that he probably would, because the fear of it. he did feel the allure of the power, but that moment when he first sensed whatever darkness that was, and he thought it was coming from himself, that intense fear and panic, will just well up in him again, and he'll just like, someone that's confessing to having, murdered someone will just he'll just blubber, and it'll come out, uh, as fast as he can get the words out of his mouth as he confesses.
No, you've done well, Dante. You have brought your companions back with you. You made it back. That's important. The dark side offers easy power. It always does, and every day is a struggle to resist. Now, you have done well. We'll have to accelerate your training, I think, in the next while. This is troubling, this source of the dark side. And he'll talk to you about what he thinks it might be. He has no idea. A creature, maybe, is a dark side user, something like that. But he would tend to your guys' wounds as well over the next few days, and you'll be pretty much back to scratch after about a week of rest with his ministrations. He would be tending to you, and there would be strict meditation upon your return. He would be very keen for you guys to kind of face what you had dealt with and think on it and understand what went wrong.
The regimes of meditation would be much welcomed by Che, as he has to recompose himself in many ways.
Yeah, Pon's perhaps parting image. You would see like the dancing of a rapier tip, and then the camera would pan back, and you'd see him doing it with his left hand, and then he'll flip it over to his right hand and do a lunge.
Nice.
Learning from his inability before to adapt. I think
Perfect.
that's Pon's major lesson.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you would continue just kind of getting better and like learning and meditating and recovering. And then maybe 2 weeks later, there would be an ominous music playing as another shuttle lands, and with it a secondary shuttle, black. And stepping from the first shuttle are stormtroopers, and from the second, a robed man, black robes. And he would step out and he would say, "Master Arn, I never thought I would see you again, you old coot." And Arn would say, "No, this is not the time." And he would look to you and he would say, "Go." And that's how we'll end it. Yeah, so there you go.
Awesome.
That was pretty crazy. That went wrong really quickly.
Well, it was just a simple run into town.
Yeah, the bad guys seem to recognize. I don't know if you rolled badly or I rolled well or what it was, but
Well, part of it you have to understand. Dante is not very physical. All of his is with his will and his charm, and of course he is pretty powerful in that. So I mean that is effective, but in, with certain circumstances he won't be as effective as like some of the others. But then of course we did have some disastrous rolls.
yeah, I guess he still had injuries from earlier as well, which contributed.
Yeah, Pon was pretty beat up when we left.
Yeah, and like combat in this game, sometimes the swing can be pretty large. Like you can have like a simulation between the same two participants. And if you run it 10 times, you'll have scenarios on both ends where one side wipes the other side.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I found.
completely
Like,
around.
you guys got pretty regularly wrecked, and I guess you guys are very keen, which is great. You're very keen to have bad things happen to your characters. It makes for a lot of drama, and I roll with that. But also, like sometimes it just means that the encounter is over before you even get hit. Like that flame from the thing was great, and it made for a good. It's going to make for a really good arc for Pon if he continues playing. But in that particular instance, I think defeat's always good though. It's a good learning tool.
Yeah, I think especially with these characters and what we have in mind, and when you're becoming a Jedi, I think kind of a slow, meaningful journey is better overall.
Mhm.
And speaking of that, do you want to go ahead and do my morality check?
Yeah, so I think you roll a d10,
Yep.
and I think you took 2 conflict, and I think if
I
you
took
roll
3 actually, so I have to roll above that, or I'm going to lose some. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So This will work. Phew. So I actually gained 7. So basically how that will be, I'll have that as, after I've confessed and the master spends some time with me in that first kind of, he sends me off to meditate for the whole day instead of any other training. And during that meditation, and I, kind of revisit that and that experience I have, even though there was the allure of the power and it did save my friends, the experience just makes my discipline stronger into striding with the light rather than the dark.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. The close encounter leads you to kind of redouble your efforts into being more disciplined. And do you guys, I mean, if you don't take conflict, you don't roll to see morality, I don't think, right? It's only like when you take the conflict itself, when you get conflict.
Yeah, but there's
Sure.
like different ways you can take it to, like if you have to you do a fear check and you fail it,
Mhm.
the GM can give you, morality, strain, or not strain, but conflict.
Yeah. I think there's stuff in there. I didn't do it this time. But there's stuff in there about triggering moralities. Like each person has whatever. I think you said yours was like justice and cruelty, Jay. So like, there's obviously ways for me to set up situations where you have to face that directly, and then there'd be bigger kind of conflict swings. Sweet. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I'm gonna stop the broadcast. Thank you to anyone who watched.